What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Dirt Castle for the next episode of Tropico 5. In the previous episode, I had done something exceedingly dumb and I clicked the wrong button. I have butterfingers when it comes to video games, so sometimes I do terrible things like that, and the tendency continued well into my post-production. And so as of right now, this is a post-commentary for the first minute or so of this episode because I accidentally deleted the audio. And the problem that we had run across, so this is not going to correlate with anything on the screen, by the way. I'm just kind of talking for a minute and a half until the audio syncs up. Gazing, there it is. But anyways, in the previous episode, we had messed it up a little bit, or I had messed up a little bit by upgrading all of my houses into modern houses, and that had made the communists quite grumpy with me. And so in going through my menus, I think it's just going to be like a minor shift thing. It's not something that we can actively fix, because when I look at why the communists are angry, there's nothing lit up in their little tab except for one thing. So I think it's just because homelessness spiked up while all of the houses are being renovated, and then once it goes back down, I get the feeling it should fix itself. So what we need to occupy ourselves with in this episode is essentially just waiting that out for the first little period. Had I not deleted my own audio, I feel like I would probably have something worthwhile to say right here. But most of my time in this episode had been spent trying to figure out, or at least in the first minute or so, why the communists were grumpy with me. And at the end of the day, all I can really say is that I'm pretty sure that they're grumpy because I forced my population to be migratory for a little while and just like swap housing.
With the discovery of ballistics, we can ensure that 10 out of 12 bombs hit their designated targets. The remaining bombs will politely allow civilians to clear the area before exploding.
How lovely of them. Sometimes things that are explosive need to give everybody a little bit of leeway before they blow their payload.
Comrade Presidente, I come with dire news. My environmentalist comrades uncovered a carefully woven imperialistic plan to bring about the extinction of the rare Tropican fur-bearing trout.
And so what they want us to do is they want us to get rid of our oil buildings, and that'll give us environmentalist standing. We're 100% not going to take that because oil is worth way too much money, and we are an oil-producing nation now. I mean, for a little while. I don't know how long this is going to last, but at the moment, it is making us an ass ton of money, and it's picking up the slack for the natural oil, or the natural gas that we need in order to keep our power plants supplied. We don't have a ton of power remaining right now, and I do want to look into the possibility of possibly importing a little bit more of coal, or really whatever it is that we need in order to get things done properly. Right now, we're exporting pineapples. There's 44 months remaining there, 36. Those imports are still going okay. I think our best option then is probably going to be to build a new dock, unfortunately, which I don't really want to do. But it is sort of necessary in this case. Ooh, a nuclear power plant. Produces power from uranium. Okay, so we probably want to get going. I think I have a uranium mine around here somewhere. I have a gold mine. A uranium deposit right there. Although, unfortunately, the uranium deposit is right near where I was planning to do all of my... Unfortunately, I was going to do all my tourism up here, and so that becomes a little bit of a problem. Let's continue looking at everything over here. We have warm relationships with just about everybody. Everybody's happy over here with the exception of entertainment, which is a little bit lower than we'd like. Our unemployment is reasonably high. Homelessness is decently high as well, but that's probably due to unemployment would be my guess. So this might also be the reason why we're plummeting off a little bit. What we might want to think about doing here is expanding out our work a little bit. What's going on this side? Why is this not working? The steel mill is not producing because it requires coal too. Looks like it has plenty of coal, it just doesn't have enough iron to keep going, which is weird because this iron mine should be, or did the iron mine, where's the iron mine? Did it get blown up by the rebels? Oh, that's disappointing. That's a really, really bad thing for us. Okay, well, we'll try and remedy that then by finding another mine. We'll just put it in right there. Let's go ahead and hatch it with a road. And so now that that's been attached, we'll start putting things in this region as well because that was part of my initial plan. I think what I'd like to start with is we'll go with the bare basics for what you need in order to keep people happy. So we'll go with a grocery right there. Even though there's a supermarket right over there, but it'll be alright. It should work out in the end, I think. We'll go with a Catholic mission, possibly. There it is. And after that point, we'll just start slotting in houses all over the place. Just start dotting this entire area with them. And so there's those, a little bit of a gap right there, unfortunately. But can't be helped.
Just place these all down the road over here because unfortunately the road decided to curve and there's not really a whole lot I could do about that. It made that decision all by its lonesome. I tried to tell the road, I was like, listen, what you're doing right now is a terrible, horrible idea. You are turning away from the path that I have set out for you. And he was like, no, I am no path. I am a road. And went off all by himself doing whatever he wanted. And so at this point, how do you know a road is a male, by the way? That is a question that took Tropican scientists a really, really long time to figure out. Our research for this period is done. And so at this point, all I want to do is build for a little while. We're going to try and get our approval rating back up. We're going to try and get our homelessness down. We're going to try and get our workers back up and running. I'm a little bit disappointed with the fact that when I converted the houses, our approval rating dropped by so much. Yeah, we'll go into the next election cycle. We've still got a 72% approval rating. I'm going to ride this out. I was briefly tempted to reload a save earlier when I accidentally clicked that because honestly, it was a mistake and it wasn't something that I meant to do. I think I'm going to stick it out though, just to add a little bit of hard mode to the game. That little screw up actually injected a little bit of entropy into the system to make it a bit more difficult on me. And so I think that's going to be a good thing considering the game really hasn't been that much of a challenge thus far. Let's try and provide employment where we can. Is the mine up and running? Awesome. Let's get it going even further. And we need supplies of jobs that are going to get a ton of people working. And so I think another way that we might want to go about this, the bauxite mine is over there. I'm going to take a road. And we're just going to run it out this way to wherever we can. I don't know what I'm going to fit in there right now, but I'm sure we'll get something along the way. I think our approval rating is probably due mostly to homelessness and also due to joblessness because I'm not sure. It might be due to the fact that we lost a mine and that means our textile. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now and I've really got to kind of sort through and see if I could figure it out. We've got more sugar plantations over here. And so I think I may continue that as a primary production for the highlands up here. Just see how many of these we can put in and how much money we can make, and then we'll make up the difference with our exports by putting in a ton of, what is this right here? We have pineapples. How do those do? Sugar does pretty well. Tobacco does okay. Coffee does alright. Okay, well, we'll do that. Let's go ahead and drop a couple coffee plantations up here because obviously we need uneducated labor. And on the other side, we will fill it up with more sugarcane. So there's that. And then the other side, more sugarcane. Let me get this rotated properly because if the rotation is not in the right spot, it makes me sad. It makes me upset and it makes my eye twitch. And so there's a bunch more buildings that people can work at. I'll go through and I'll try and make sure those are fully upgraded before we go much further. This place here, we need to... No, maybe I should have just started with the automated mine. I wanted the extra workers. We'll go with the heavy crusher over there to make that go a little bit better. The houses are being built, so let's go ahead and raise the budget on those. And if this drops off, I may actually have to lower this slightly so that more people can live in it. But until that point, we'll just kind of hang out for a little while and figure it out. I don't want to do more research right now. I just want to keep playing the game. We're in the mid-60s. Good things are happening. Life is moving along at the pace that we want. There is nothing to be concerned about. I should probably upgrade all of these as well. And what we'll do over here then is we'll add a couple of factories to make use of the fact that this is going to add to our canneries and this is going to add to our rum distilleries. We're going to win without cheating like we always do because nobody would dare vote against El Presidente. It doesn't even need to be said. I don't need to manipulate anything because the people already know how this works. You just kind of make it happen, Cap'n. Okay, and re-election one more time. Congratulations, everybody. I'm going to go with a construction office up here because I always feel like construction doesn't get done up here. And so I think another one over here couldn't hurt either, simply based on the fact that it does provide a few more jobs for people. We have a bunch of Teamsters unions up here. It also could be related to traffic as well. I'll have to wait and see. Construction's not taking place. I don't know if people are just like off the job right now or people are just hanging out, being lazy. It's all good because there's not really that much that needs to get done at the moment. Still, There we go. There, the construction has started. We're in better shape now. Over here, we want to start sculpting all of this in the way that we planned. Actually, I may put in a bunch of apartment buildings over here. Just a big ol' ass ton of them. Might not be a bad expenditure for the moment. I'm just kind of playing around with stuff at this point, because we've done so well during the course of this playthrough that it doesn't concern me anymore, like screwing up. Okay, and there's our apartment complexes. That should take care of our homelessness, I hope. Between all of those, and homelessness is still at 55. Mostly grade school and illiterates who are there, but these farms should square that away as well. Increase that with bean processing. Not really too concerned about my expenditures at the moment. I'm willing to throw a bit of cash around to make sure that everything stays functional. Might be a better plan to come down like so and make that work. There we are. And so these should allow us to expand our production. Oh good, we have an earthquake, which is pretty bad. Oh yeah, we had the quest to make the historic inn. I should probably do that too.
We made it. I am now.
Hola, Tropicans! Ooh, last night things got a bit wild between Marco and I, but I assure you, the only collapsed roof we are responsible for is our own.
I don't even know what got destroyed at this point. Tropico's gotten so huge that I can't even find what's been... Okay, so something happened over here. It only said 2 buildings, so there's going to be a little bit of a witch hunt. A little bit of a snipe hunt trying to find the 2 buildings that were knocked down so that we can prop them back up briefly. Looks like our lumber harvesting operation has finally collapsed on itself and I didn't notice. Oh, we'll put in another logging operation like right there. And we have more rebels attacking. And they are all over the place this time. Luckily our military is already slightly mobilizing. I mean, we've got tanks. We should be able to wipe them out with too much trouble. Especially once the death squad shows up. Okay, and so they've been run off. We want to make sure that we're whacking guys after each of these fights so that they don't remain subversives. And is that all of them, or are there still rebels running around? I don't see any more red tags anywhere, so I think we're okay. Military strength is looking reasonably decent. I do like the way that they made military necessary in this. Oh, they're up here. Okay. Repair you. Rebuild you entirely. But I do like the way that they've integrated the military system in Tropico 5 to make sense of the fact that you actually have to put in military bases now. I don't really remember building too much military in the original Tropicos. I remember it being sort of one of those things that you did briefly as a construction project just to fulfill quests or whatever.
Things
But
started off pretty nice, but then derailed so violently that it left nothing behind but an ugly, disfigured hulk. Just like some buildings I've been seeing on the island lately. Fix them already!
I really sincerely wish they would get rid of, like, all of the radio people are obnoxious. I don't understand why they stay in Tropico, but every single Tropico game, the radio people are not funny and largely just kind of obnoxious, just sitting around taunting you the entire time. I know I can probably turn it off, but I'm just saying, it's one of those features that people have complained about since the early Tropico games, and it's weird that it hasn't been eliminated yet. That's all good. Everybody's well off in there. We'll increase the apartment complexes to all welcome, well-off people. We have another iron deposit over there, and a uranium deposit over here, so I may start working over towards that uranium deposit so that we can get a new power solution, because as it stands right now, we don't have grid problems, but every now and again we get like a little fluctuation, a little brownout, a little sag in the line. And unfortunately, I don't want any sagginess in our lines. I like my lines to remain firm. When my lines become flaccid, that's the point at which I start to become worried about the ultimate outcome of our people. Become very, very nervous. These are filling up, not rapidly, but they're filling up slowly. Let's make sure that all of them have a maximum budget so that the housing quality is at 89, which is really, really good. And it looks like we're recovering already, so...
Great giant tropical spiders, Presidente. We have a crisis, and we have to act fast.
If you remain unhappy, a coup. Dude, I have 81% approval rating. Who's unhappy? Like, everything seems really, really decent right now. We're in poor standing with environmentalists. I don't really care about those hippies anyways. Whatever. It's not like in 50 years we'll regret all the stuff we're doing right now, right? I mean, it's not like 99% of the scientific community will come to any sort of consensus in 50 years. Let's just keep building and spewing pollution into the air. We'll worry about that when we... I'm gonna be dead. It's not even my problem. There we go. We'll add an extra road right there for more apartment complexes. I think it would go... It might be a good idea to drop in some extra entertainment around here. Although it does cost electricity, so maybe we'll go for the uranium mine first. There we go. We'll run that line over to there. That road will stop right there. It's interesting that it's giving me the nice roads here. I'm a little bit confused why I'm getting nice roads even though I'm way outside of my municipal center. Oh well. It's nothing to be that concerned about. We'll go with an auto mine right there so that we can get some uranium. What's the output going to be looking like on this location? I'm going to upgrade the budget, obviously. Oh, it won't let me do that yet. I'm going to quick build it since it's so far away, and I've got the extra cash anyways. Increase, we've got 20,000 uranium. That's not as much uranium as I'd like to have. And that does put us in a little bit of a spot. But I don't want to export uranium at all. I want all uranium to be given specifically to me. I want to stockpile it. And I don't know if that's something that the game is going to allow. That's a mechanic that I'm not so sure about. Down here at the end, we'll put in a cannery to keep people happy. And then we'll also put in a rum distillery right here. And that should be enough to keep the money flowing a little bit longer, expanding our industry and ensuring that at least there's competition in between companies, if nothing else. Got multiple rum distilleries running. Everything's looking really good for us. I think I should probably do something with healthcare up here. That's what I was trying to think about. I was like, well, health and welfare, what have I done lately? A hospital might be a decent plan for objects underneath or blocking the construction. I don't see anything. It's weird because we have the perfect spot for this right now and I would love to drop it. I mean, I could put it like right there and it would get the same thing done. That'll help out with the health and well-being of everybody involved with the situation. We've got 400 visitors to the cathedral. God, we are banging it up at the cathedral right now. It is wall-to-wall, elbow-to-elbow. I suppose when you've got an evil dictator who runs everything and like assassinates people, you gotta go somewhere to alleviate your fear or whatever. You gotta make, if there was ever a time to pray, I suppose that might be it. Over here we've got roadblocks going on, so let me... There are no highlighted objects. There is nothing here. God, that's obnoxious. There is nothing here right now. Highlighted objects are blocking construction. So this is going to be a serious problem right here. And unfortunately, we aren't in modern times yet, so I can't alleviate this by putting in... I mean, the traffic isn't too bad, but there's definitely some congestion starting to take place. The way that I would fix it, so I going a road right there and right there, which would distribute it in between this intersection and this intersection evenly. And I might actually run it through this farm as well and lower its productivity slightly, just to make sure that people could get where they needed to go. Unfortunately, because of this bug we're getting right here, where it's saying that there's something underneath, I can't fix the problem, so I guess we'll just live with it for now. Hospital's being built right there. We're at 81% approval rating. I should probably keep things moving in this direction. How much uranium have we built already, or have we chugged out? A little bit. So I guess now would be the time to drop in. I'm going to try and keep it a long ways away from the remainder of everything else. Just because a plant meltdown is not something I feel like I mean, irradiating everybody might be cool if we can guarantee that the mutations that they'll garner will be beneficial, like 8 arms so that they can work a little bit harder. But I get the feeling their arms are just going to be like, and like fall off from the radiation. And that's the point at which I start to figure, let's not screw our own popularity and our own productivity by giving anybody not so beneficial mutations right now. Honestly, I think we're pretty safe just kind of sitting and waiting this one out until we go a little bit further. I want to make sure that this this nuclear power plant gets up before too much longer. We'll put in a few more relay stations. One right there. And then maybe another one squeezed in right there. Because obviously we're running out of power here. I'm going to drop in a higher budget for them. That's all good. How's our unemployment looking right now? Unemployment's at 112. Oh my god, we need to be expanding a lot quicker. I need to start pausing the game at this point. We are booming right now, and homelessness is still at an equally bad level. So I think it's all grade school people too. And so we want to make sure that there's lots of jobs for people that... I mean, I think this is probably the best time ever to expand our tourism. Let's take a look at our overlays and see what we can do with tourism right now. Well, if we can get a road run up to here, we can start tourism along this beach. And then I'll just try and keep all of my development to this upper plateau for the future, so that it doesn't interfere with any of that. So let's get this road going. I haven't really necessarily thought about how I want to do this yet. But I do feel like this is probably the next logical step, especially since it gives us another huge revenue stream. So we'll just kind of put roads out here wherever, and then we'll just kind of build off of it as necessary. There we go. And so with tourism buildings, what do we have? Tourism buildings. We have economy hotels. Provides rooms for 12 slob tourist families. Okay, and so they're kind of doing the same thing that we had before. We have cabana villages, we have cabins, we have eco-tourists. Oh, that's new. Okay, so apparently we have ecologically concerned tourists that we have to take care of, so that might be interesting. We've got hacienda, culture tourists, okay. And then we can also drop in an airport, which was in the previous game. The cruise ship I'll probably wait on until the next modern era because we have to, we don't have a choice. But let's just begin with some... Does this need road access or what's going on here? We'll just start small. Let's start with a couple of cabana villages over here. And once the cabana villages have been looked at, I'm going to try and keep this semi-cogent with regards to its layout. I can't promise that we're going to be able to do... I'm not going to promise miracles here, but, you know, designing these little areas can be rough. But that'll start us off. And the other thing that we need... I thought you needed a... We'll drop one of those guys right there. We need to obviously put in parking lots and garages and things so that they can all get around. And I think this is where I'm going to break off the episode. So in the next episode, we'll probably get going expanding our tourism as rapidly as we possibly can. I'd like to, by the end of the next episode, have this entire area developed so that the touristy area is finished. I don't really want to put in... Oh, we kind of screwed ourselves on the gold mine right there. But I think we'll be able to make it work. It'll probably turn out okay in the end. Oh, we got another bauxite deposit over there, too. Well, all kinds of goodies taking place out here. We'll add that, and I will see you all in the next episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Tropico 4 or Tropico 5. I remember my numbers. I know them. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and all that. I will see you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.